Today we are going to talk about social aspects of interlanguage. Interlanguage. The first point is interlanguage as a stylistic continuum. Um, when people interact with each other, they either try to make their speech similar to that of their address in order to emphasize social cohesiveness or a process of convergence, or to make it different in order to emphasize their social distinctiveness or a process of divergence. And it has been suggested that language learner acquisition involve long-term convergence. That is, when the social conditions are such that learners that are motivated to converge on native speaker norms. And when the condition encourages learners to maintain their own social and groupless learning take place. According to the Gill's theory, then groupless social factors influence interlanguage development via the impact they have on the attitudes that determine the kinds of language use learners engage in. The next point is about the acculturation model of language learner acquisition. As presented by Schumann, social factors determine the amount of contact with the language learner, individual learners experience, and thereby how successful they are in learning. There are two problems with such a model. First, it fails to acknowledge that factors like integration pattern and attitude are not fixed and static, but potentially variable and dynamic, fluctuating in accordance with the learner's changing social experiences. And the second, it fails to acknowledge that learners are not just subject to social conditions, but can also become the subject of them. They can help to construct the social context of their own learning. It is notion that we will not explore.
Okay, now I will explain about the acculturation model in L2 acquisition or second language acquisition, and this is a similar perspective on the role of social factors in second language acquisition can be found in John Schumann's acculturation model. Those really influential to study of second language acquisition. Study Schumann investigate 30 and 3 years old. Schumann proposed that regeneration is the cause when students fail language acquisition and they are failed to acculturate their target language groups, unable and unwilling to adapt with new culture related to the target language. Reason for learners fail in learning second language acquisition is social distance. So when you learn about English but your environment not use English is not good, because you must live in the environment that use English so you can practice your English and make your second language develop. The last is psychology distance. For example is psychology factors like language shocks, culture shocks, or motivation. For example, in Indonesia, we only use a simple structure, but in English there are 16 structure, and it makes the second language learner feel difficult when he or she learn about the English. And the last is motivation. The motivation have an important role to learn second language. When you have your motivation to learn English, you can develop your English, develop your vocabulary, and you will always learn.
The acculturation model of L2 acquisition. Acculturation model is social factors determine the amount of context the L2 individual learners experiences, and thereby how successful they are in learning, and the reason for learners falling to acculturate L2. First, Whitneyization. In L2 acquisition results when learner fails to acculturate to the target language in groups. And second, social distance. This concerns the extent which individual learners become members of target language group and therefore achieve contact with them. And the model problem in instrument theory. First, it failed to acknowledge the factors like integration pattern and attitude are not fixed static, but variable and dynamic fluctuating in accordance with learners' changing experiences. And second, it fails to acknowledge that learners are not subject social conditions but can also become subject of them.
Again with me, my name is Sandi Iasa, and this is my part. I will tell you about language aptitude. Language aptitude is a natural ability for learning an L2. Early work by John Carroll led to identification of a number of components of linguistic aptitude. And the first, phonemic coding ability. Phonemic coding ability is the ability to identify the sound of a foreign language. And the second, grammatical sensitivity. Grammatical sensitivity is the ability to recognize the grammatical function of word in sentence. And third, inductive language learning ability is the ability to identify pattern of correspondence and relation between form and meaning. And the last one is rote learning ability. Rote learning ability is the ability to form and remember association between stimuli.